All right. Well, this is the 1,000th episode of Smackdown, and before we go into it, I got to ask you a question, which I didn't put on to the prep sheet. At least I don't think I did. Do you have a specific moment in the 1,000 episodes of Smackdown that you would consider your favorite moment? And I know I'm probably putting you on the spot here. It might be, and if not, I'll give you my example if I can. Thank you, D-Nice. Okay. Welcome. I liked the tag team match back in 1999 with The Undertaker, Big Show, with The Rock and Mankind in the tag team Buried Alive match. And I know that was early on. It was like the first few months of that show. And you had a lot of good moments with Eddie Guerrero's celebration when he won the title. There was a lot of good moments. Like any Eddie Guerrero matches. You could go with the TLC match. With the three usual suspects along with Jericho and Benoit that took up the whole second hour of SmackDown. But to me, I always wondered, could they pull off a tag team Buried Alive match? And the first 3 months of the show, they pulled that off. It was one of my favorite matches on SmackDown. I hope if anything I put in there might have jogged a memory of something. I know I feel bad that I threw you on the spot here, but is there anything? And anyone in chat, do you have a favorite moment on SmackDown? And we'll put it out right now.
Gotcha. Okay, I think I'm ready for you. First of all, welcome in D-Nice.
D-Nice, welcome.
And my brother from another mother, Timmy Big Guns. Thank you for that raid, my friend. It's greatly appreciated.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Favorite SmackDown moment? I was sitting here thinking back while you're talking.
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio, the whole storyline of Eddie taking over, being the dad to Rey's kid.
Oh, God.
That was such good writing then, and I enjoyed that entire rivalry so much. Anytime those guys were in the ring together, whether it was WCW, SmackDown, whatever, It was gold. So if I was going to one of my favorite ones, it's either that or a few of the Jericho Rock segments, promos. Were always fantastic too.
Okay. All right. Good. It's funny that you say that. I just watched. I get caught up in this YouTube vortex where I'll watch one video, and 3 hours later I'm on. And this time it was all Eddie Guerrero, because we're coming up on 13 years since he passed.
Unbelievable.
And it's still hard to this day to he's gone. And one of my favorite wrestlers. I named my bowling team. I started a bowling team for a youth bowling league, and the name was Latino Heat. And people asked why I had that. And I even had a flame bowling ball. I was so geeky with it. And I was like, it's because I was a mark for Latino Heat. But that angle with Rey Mysterio was gold. Eddie's stories, remember he would go out every week with the book with the stories, and dude, you're right. The writing with that storyline was incredible. And that was during a time where SmackDown was beating Raw in the ratings as well, because they just had the better product.
And now that I got thinking about it, no, hands down, best SmackDown moment. 2001, September 11th happens. The first big event to happen after that was SmackDown. It was the first big gathering. And the way Vince McMahon handled that, phenomenal, off the charts. I'll never forget that as an American or a wrestling fan. That was one of the best events I've ever seen in my life.
You know what? You are correct. I kind of forgot about that, and I should. Yeah, that was a killer moment. Ooh, hopefully we didn't go live there. Yeah, I mean go off. I just saw a thing reload. That could just be me. I'm sorry. No, that was an awesome moment because that was the first big gathering after, and it was only 2 days after the horrific events of 9/11. And it took baseball and football at least a week or two before they even decided to try to do something. I mean, the balls that Vince McMahon always had. I mean, you can't deny the guy has balls. And just like in the situation with this whole what's going on with the Crown Jewel, he did give the wrestlers the option if they wanted to continue with it. There were some wrestlers that chose not to do it. There were some wrestlers that said, you know what, I'm going to do it. It's for the country. You need that distraction for what just happened. And yeah, that was a big moment too. I kind of forgot about that. I should have went with that as number one. Again, I went with the tag team match because I did enjoy that match, and I just saw that recently as well.
So many good moments. throughout SmackDown, though. I mean, it has been from day one, in my opinion, the premier show until NXT came along.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that one. But SmackDown out of the two brands was always the fun show to watch, and it even had more professional wrestling than just the whole entertainment like Raw. All right.
But speaking of changing the rundown sheet,
sure.
Can we bring up that opening segment with McMahon's? Because I enjoyed the crap out of R-Truth coming out, him and Carmella doing their little spiel, and then of course Stephanie and Shane coming out doing their thing, but Vince McMahon coming out there and just throwing out dance break and seeing Vince break it down in the ring was priceless. That was the best way to kick off the show. I really enjoyed it. I found myself like a little kid watching SmackDown again. It was great.
You know what? I agree with you. I didn't know if you really wanted to cover that. I should have asked you about that. I figured the points I put on the rundown, that would probably be. I should have asked on that. But yeah, I did enjoy that segment. I love Truth TV. I love what he could do. Mm-hmm. And the fact that guy's like 50, pushing 50, and the guy's got better abs than me. Here you go, folks. We might get banned. I don't care. Look at that. Look at that. That's horrific. You can look on the screen in about 10 seconds, buddy. All right, I got a belly, okay? He makes me look ridiculous. That guy is pushing 50. I'm 35, all right? But the entertainment value on the show, unbelievable. I mean, the dance breaks I love. And the chemistry, the one thing a lot of people didn't talk about is the chemistry with Carmella and R-Truth. I think they should continue with them in the future. Do something with them, too. It is unbelievable, the chemistry they have with one another.
Cheap plug here. Guys, this is entertainment you only get at the Go Home Wrestling Show.
Yeah.
Showing bellies and all.
Yep. Thank you, Timmy Bringuns. D-Nice said something in chat real nice. So the people that are listening to this later on the podcast, we are live every Saturday night, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will have the links in the description where you can catch us live on Twitch, YouTube, and Mixer. So make sure you follow us on either one of those platforms, and you can join the conversation in real time. And while we're in there, D-Nice says it needed SmackDown for WWE to become the big company. Yeah, because
absolutely,
I think so too, because it was to compete with WCW that had Thunder, and the fact that they broke it up with the two writing crews. SmackDown, even though it wasn't a brand split, even in 1999, it just had the better writing then. And yeah, Brian Quartz, and then you had Bruce Pritchard that took care of Raw. Believe it or not, you had Paul Heyman, even early on in 99, throw in a little bit here. And I forgot there was a couple names that who gives a fuck now because they weren't big. But believe it or not, Heyman even had ideas then. He was a part of creative even during the time where he had his company. Which is kind of weird when you hear about that, because if you follow the episode of Paul Heyman on Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard, they discussed that very topic, that he was contributing to the creative on SmackDown while he was running ECW. I don't know if you caught that episode.
Yep.
But yeah, that and you know what? It's funny, Timmy Big Guns, WCW versus NWO. Believe it or not, that was the initial thing they were going to do with their brand split. One side, Nitro would have been WCW. NWO would have been Thunder. That was their initial plan, but it backfired because NWO got too quick, just as quick as the 6-man angle going on Raw right now. It got rolled pretty quick. All right, so is there anything you want to add on about the opening segment? I agree with you. Vince McMahon definitely got the skills to dance. He's better than me, that's for sure.
No, and it was a stupid segment. I mean,
it was meant for entertainment. I get what you're saying.
But it was just fun, and seeing that side of Vince McMahon, and oh my God, the cheers he got when he came out. Holy crap.
More than just that, they were singing the song too. No chance.
It was insane.
No.
So I was, as much crap as we talk, we're ready for Triple H to take over, to do the booking and all this stuff. It was great to see Vince McMahon on live TV again. What's up, Great One?
What's up, Great One? All right, well, let's go on into it. The first match, and good. After a good segment, you have a good tag team match, and that is AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan versus the Usos. Day one-ish. Great tag team match between one of the best tag teams in the WWE and the two top single guys in SmackDown. I guess we could say that. Of course, a miscommunication led to Styles colliding with his partner, and Usos delivering a wicked double super kick for the upset win. I got to ask you right away here, what did you think of that match?
Fantastic match. How could it not be with that much talent in the ring? The Usos have proven themselves time and time again, arguably the best tag team on the main roster right now.
I'm with you on that.
In the WWE. But on the main roster, arguably the best team. And then we got Daniel Bryan and, in my opinion, the best wrestler in the world, AJ Styles. So it was a great match, great back and forth. Did you notice a single botch? I don't think I saw a single botch in this match.
No. And you know
That's
what?
how good these guys are.
And again, Daniel Bryan, and I understand he's just get back. There's been almost every match he's been involved. There's been kind of some sort of mess up, and it's no fault to him. He took a few years off. You got to expect the guy to give him time to, get it all together again. He wasn't like Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels was able to get at that, and that is the difference between him and Shawn Michaels, which is kind of funny because that's who taught Daniel Bryan. But nonetheless, no, there wasn't a single botch in that match. It was incredible. Great way to start off the show after a great entertainment promo, I guess you would say, or segment. You had a great tag team match, but of course the Usos got the huge victory, which raises their stock. So hopefully they might do something with them in the bar, and we'll get into that. Spoiler alert, we got new tag champions. Oh crap, you know what? I forgot to do something. I just realized something. Alright, never mind. Going to my second question for you. Did you think creative did a good job furthering the storyline between Styles and Bryan with it was like a mutual respect thing, and I don't know, I couldn't translate what they were trying to go with here.
It's weird.
It is a weird one.
It's weird, but at the same time, they had to do something to build on this. And going from the standpoint they were taking, where are you really going to take it? So there had to be some kind of spark happen. And I guess this is the route they wanted to go to get that spark. So part of me just says I'm going to hold my opinion to what I see next week. But now they put, with this just small ember, they put such a burden on their back to knock it out of the park next week. They may fall short, and that's my fear about going this route.
Yeah, because it seemed like it was a mutual respect, and when you need that one thing that implodes it, and then it gets, to another level where they're going to build something off that. That's the only thing I don't know how else they... But overall, it was a great match. But I don't see how that really built to the world title match. And we're about a week away. We're a little over a week away. It was 2 weeks from yesterday that we got the crown jewel.
To be all in full honest with you on this, I don't think they should have been playing or fighting in Usos.
Yeah.
They should have had the Miz with somebody else going against them, and Miz be the one to really spark the rivalry, get them kind of going back and forth.
He would have been the best guy for it.
Exactly. That's your promo guy right there. And why that wasn't used, bringing the Miz into it, because I don't know if you're thinking like I am, somehow the Miz is going to get involved in this match. I have no doubts about that.
Yeah, it's obvious. Because in my opinion, I think he's going to be the next world champion.
So why
TP
would
Poker.
you not use him here to spark it?
TP Poker, he says, hello and good evening. May I ask a question? Sure. Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you guys got any question? Yeah, I have a feeling he's going to be the next world champion. Obviously, he's going to get involved in some kind of way with trying to stir the shit up between them two, along with it, trying to take advantage. Eventually, his goal becoming world champion. And as a great heel, it should be him. One of the top heels, if not. I don't know. Until a certain man from the NXT comes up, I will say, as far as the main roster, I can't see anyone better. Do you?
No, I mean, I think we're both on the same board here. I've got Miz ranked number 1 and Tommaso Ciampa number 2 right now.
Yeah, and like I said, until he gets called up to the main roster, I will go with the Miz. I don't like the fact that they put a theme song on him, but I guess we could save that for a pop-up show where I just get angry about why they just fucked his character up in a way. I don't know.
I love it.
I don't like it. I love him coming out to the booths. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's forced. No, because he does things that pisses people off. He's a classic freaking heel. And if that guy ever goes face, what the hell? I think you just had a fly go across the screen there, bro.
Yep.
Attacking the flies. All right. I'm sorry. My ADD just got the best of me. And there it is. Oh, hello. Hello, little fly. Hello.
I named him Fred. He's my new friend.
Oh, okay. Hi, Fred. Thank you. And may I say the stream is stellar. My question in 2 parts. Before I get to my question, RIP Tom Clancy, my question is regards to how they ruined AOP and Oscar. Why? AOP, I thought they were going to do... We'll address this. Okay. Even though it's something we were talking about. But obviously, you asked to... We're going to answer this. AOP, I thought they were going to do something with the... Baron Corbin being like the bodyguards in a way. It seemed like it was going that way. And no, they just ruined it. And Asuka should have been women's champion already, in my opinion. How they ruined it, it's just shitty creative. As far as Raw. SmackDown, I guess they were more focused on Charlotte and Becky Lynch. And if that was the point, then why'd you give Asuka the chance? Why'd you have Asuka win the Rumble? If eventually she was not going to win the title, I don't know. I don't think I could ever recall a Royal Rumble winner not eventually getting the title, whether if it's at WrestleMania or not. Do you recall?
No, I don't.
No. All right. Yeah. Question 2: why are my chances of making sweet love to Alexa Bliss?
About as good chances as any one of us.
As good as chances me getting Becky Lynch, and tell you right now. The other night, they had WWE night at the Prudential Center, which is where the New Jersey Devils hockey team plays. And that is my favorite team. Yes, I live in Philly, and I'm a Devils fan. You can ride me about that for anyone that's in Philly. But she was wearing a Devils jersey, and there was nothing more hotter than that. She don't even have to be naked. She could be on top of me with that jersey on, and I'm ready to go.
Easy.
Oh, I'm sorry. We got children that do listen to this. I'm sorry. So, yeah, your chances again with her is my chances with the... and I love the Devils, so... Well, there you go.
I do want to respond to his questions there, though.
First
of all, TP Poker, thanks, man. We appreciate anybody coming in and asking questions. So awesome questions. AOP, I still think there's hope there.
There is.
I still think that they can be those henchmen that we were talking about to work with Baron Corbin.
We kind of mentioned that, too. We kind of predicted that they were going to go that route.
And I still see it possibly forming, but they better get on the ball pretty quick because they're starting to lose steam again with it. So there's still hope for AOP. As for Asuka, God almighty, WWE, what are you doing?
They missed the boat on that one, man.
Arguably the match of the night at WrestleMania was Charlotte Flair against Asuka.
Yep, definitely.
And then immediately following that, she goes off to have a couple one-off matches, or not one-off. She challenged Carmella twice for the title and lost, which still baffles me.
Yeah.
And then from there, you don't really see her. Here and there showing up in weird ways. She is going to be a part of Evolution, but it's going to... Seriously, what are you doing with her? I understand we've got a great feud going with Lynch and Charlotte. No problem. Got it. That should be our top priority.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a whole lot of talent. I would have loved right now to see Asuka against the Iconics and a feud going on there to where we got a handicap match. Iconics against Asuka.
That would show her power.
Exactly.
And that would really get her over.
Look weak.
That would totally get her, over, yeah. He said, question 3, does Batista look skinny and old? Maybe he's sick. No, I think it was more for a Hollywood look. That's what that was. Leaned, he's a lot more lean. It could come off as sickly, but yeah, I think that was just for Hollywood. to be an actor. But, okay. Well, let's go on. I think we answered a couple questions. Oh, Jesus. I'm looking at... So we go from that. We had a great tag team match. We had a great segment. Then we have something I'm a little baffled as to why they're on this. I think this would be more suitable for maybe Raw 25, but the Evolution reunion. You had all 4 of the original members, which everyone was wondering if Batista was going to be there. And he did show up. And basically the promo goes as follows. Triple H started a promo by putting all the guys over for their accomplishments from during that time to after the Evolution, after they broke up. He also discussed the importance of Smackdown and Smackdown 1000. I think he did a pretty good job covering all that. And then, of course, they went on to Flair, and he does his usual woos and all that. Just a crowd pleaser. Then it goes off to Randy, and it took the mic and discussed how it was a great start for him as a young wrestler.
So
yeah, and then he went on to take a few jabs, and I have them written down right here. For Triple H, he says, for running the business, that's always said. Of course, you're not going to trash on a guy that's ahead. He says, Ric Flair, for living through your daughter's success, which I thought was funny. And then the third one was for Batista, which goes along with your question there, TP, is spending more time in the makeup room than in the ring. Good jabs from Randy Orton. Going along with that character, man. He's still going with it. He's staying in character for the reunion promo, which is great. And we could go into that a little bit further. Now, Batista, he finally took the mic, and he was the longest pushing of that promo. He discussed the pride he had helped build the brand as far as SmackDown. He reminded fans that he was born and raised in D.C., where the show was held that night, and returning to talk to them was a dream of his. He wanted to return for the fans because no matter whether they cheered or booed him, he appreciated every one of them, and he wanted to entertain them. And as he put over the specialness of Evolution, it was a special group of wrestlers. Now, let's go right into this. I'm going to play a clip. This is also courtesy of WWE.com. Hold on. I think this is it.
The game.
Oh, I should do this, and I realized I didn't do that for the last one. I'm sorry, buddy. Let me put so you can hear the sound. That would help, wouldn't it? You could
absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. You can whoop my ass later, okay? All right. Let me get the clip again, and here we go. It's about a minute long.
14-time world champion. This man has single-handedly changed this business. He runs this business. This man is this business.
Facts.
14-time world champion. There is nothing that this man hasn't done in this business except beat me.
All right, and I had to play that for a reason. Geez, I wonder when they're going to do that match. I mean, you're going to obviously probably have your Undertaker and HBK that same night. Can we say WrestleMania in New York?
Yep.
And what a way for a guy to beat a man that he's never beaten than a rematch at WrestleMania, because the first time they met at a WrestleMania was 2005 when Batista beat him for the World Heavyweight Championship. And him meaning Triple H. Pronouns, pal. So, what did you think of the promo, the promo altogether? And then the follow-up question to that, and you got it all together, is what do you think of that one line from Batista? And you can even go in with Randy Orton, too, because I knew you had something there.
First of all, I get where you're coming from, that they weren't ever really on SmackDown. They did make a couple appearances. But I had no problem with them being on SmackDown. The whole reason to bring them in was to bring eyes to the product, which, great idea to bring Evolution in. The only way you're going to hit bigger is if you brought NWO.
Yeah.
So I really didn't have a problem there. Getting into the promo side, Ric Flair is Ric Flair. Triple H always cuts good promos. Randy Orton, man, I had fun with this one. His little zingers were really good. But it carried into this persona he's kind of going to now.
Yep.
But you also saw the hints of the persona he was when he first started with Evolution. That cocky, arrogant prick. I mean, that's what he was.
Yeah,
so
I loved it.
Man, he just sold that so well. I was highly impressed with. I was probably more impressed with Orton during this whole series than I was anybody else. He just played the part like I remember during the great glory days of Evolution. Batista comes. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. No. You're fine. Go ahead. I thought you were done because you had that long pause. I'm like, okay. My bad. Go ahead.
Then Batista comes along, and I've never shied away from this. I'm not a big Batista fan. Never was. He did, the way he spoke, obviously really resonated with that crowd because they were in his hometown.
Yeah, that's the reason he got over.
But even with me, I found myself drawn into what he was saying. He was actually doing a great job selling this. And at first, I thought he was basically saying, this is it for me, goodbye, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then he puts out the line, but you've never beaten me.
Which I was shocked that he kind of went there. And
I knew there was rumor mills going around that this might happen, but I wasn't expecting it on SmackDown 1000. So I was honestly blown away, and just like you brought up, first thing that popped in my head was we have our first WrestleMania match.
Yep. And they kind of did that before with The Rock and John Cena, and they kind of rode that for a year. Now, we're at least 6 months away before WrestleMania. I'm sure they could do things to sprinkle it in during the time, but until then, here's the thing. We know Triple H is in good shape. You saw that back at the match with The Undertaker recently. Batista obviously looking pretty lean. Maybe still in great shape. Looks like he's in good shape. But let's be honest, he was a stiff wrestler anyway to begin with. As far as being a strong wrestler, he wasn't exactly that. But he did put on good matches with Triple H. But Triple H never getting out on top. Are you at least excited for it, though, if they were to go that way at WrestleMania?
Yeah. I mean, I want to see it. I want to see what Batista looks like in the ring. He's not necessarily like the rest of these legends coming back. He is a little bit younger, so he might actually be in a position. It should be on Raw, to be completely honest, but he might be in a position to be a credible heel that the company desperately needs right now.
What heel? Yeah. I mean, there's a couple others they can make heel. You know, Roman Reigns. Yeah, that's just one.
Keep dreaming.
I really feel that's going to happen. Again, that's how I interpret it. There was a question that we didn't address. I don't think we... where was it at? What happened to DX coming back? Any news if it's happening? D-Nice, that is going to happen. Apparently, there's going to be a match. I don't know.
If the pay-per-view
happens. If the pay-per-view happens, because they apparently canceled the sale of the tickets. They put it for November 2nd, which is the day of the event. How are you going to sell out a 20,000 seat stadium the day of the event? So it only leads to me to believe is that it may be postponed. I guess we'll find out. TP Pocus, is it me or Rey Mysterio's return a who the hell cares moment? We'll get into that as we discuss that because we're coming up on that. All right, so is there anything else to add to the Evolution promo? And if not, we'll move on.
I think we pretty much got it covered. We both see it going in the same direction, so we're good.
Okay. All right, here we go. Reigns sells too much merch to turn heel. Yeah, as we know, heels do sell merch, too. That's where WWE fucks up with their heels. All right, so moving along. Now, then we're going to play our final clip of the evening. And I don't know if you guys are liking this or disliking it. Be honest. Put it in the comments section of YouTube if you think we're kind of going too much with that. But it's important. I think it's better to, replay. And we can't get in trouble because we're adding criticism to it. Hold on. What's up? Okay. We're adding criticism to it. What, you want to be on stream?
Yeah, I'm going to say hi.
You can say hi real quick. Go ahead.
Hi.
All right.
Hello.
That's my niece and her boyfriend. Huh?
What are you playing?
No, we ain't playing. We're talking wrestling. There you go. So it goes into another segment. Bringing back a show, obviously, was for SmackDown 1000. They were bringing back a guy that was a huge part of SmackDown, and the reason why it was popular, the Rated R Superstar Edge, and brought back the Cutting Edge. And the guest was Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, and man, immediately I know where they were going with this. It was too predictable. It was too predictable, but the level they took it wasn't predictable. And obviously what I mean with predictable is that Edge introduced Becky Lynch, and then as he got her in the ring, he explained to the Lynch that he understands and appreciates what she has done and how she has to scratch and claw to get to the top, because that's exactly what he had to do. It wasn't given to him. He had to work hard for it. Unlike John Cena and people like Charlotte Flair, they kind of have that privilege where things are handed to them, as they had to work scratch and claw to get to the top. That was never, and he also addressed that he wasn't supposed to be on posters or even in the headlines. And he said that even through the accolades, even though they're great, by sitting at home looking at those titles alone, he regrets all the actions that get there, and it wasn't worth it. Then we got this from Becky Lynch. I have to, because he even asked her, does he, when she looks at me, does she love herself or like herself? And all right, you can still hear it, right?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, here we go. Hold on, let's stop real quick. We had the big promo on Raw. I feel this was the best one on SmackDown.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like myself. I love myself. Now stop being so condescending to the champ and get out of my ring. Careful you don't hurt your neck again going through those ropes.
Oh, man. Now, that was some real shit, and I loved it. What she does as a heel, week in and week out, despite the fucking fan reaction, can we at least agree that she is money as far as being a heel?
Oh, without a doubt. She's ranking up there in the Miz Ciampa area. She's getting very close to those two guys.
Yeah, I agree with you with that. But she, as far as women, she's top,
Without a doubt.
Maybe
Not even close.
Probably getting up there to all time, and I put that on a huge list because, what was her name? Right, the censor.
Ivory.
Ivory. I like that version of Ivory when she was the censor. Now this is going back quite a bit, folks. For that, they're very young. This is going back at
97?
2000, because Stevie Richards was there.
Oh,
Bull Buchanan, the good father, known as the Godfather. He went heel and turned them. Thank you, Dinos. Becky is the best. She was on a Try Not to Laugh video on YouTube, and she was still in heel form. Yep, she is money, dude. Staying in character, I'm loving it. She was even in the Devil's thing that she was doing on the Devil's broadcast. She was in heel mode then. It's like she's not breaking character. That is a classic heel. Let's see some of that on the social media, and that would just take it to another level.
She has been too.
Oh,
the last couple of days, she's really put out some stuff.
I guess I got me on Twitter more. I'm failing at that.
Which I forgot to bring up on the Ronda Rousey Bella fight too. There was a huge war this past weekend leading up to Raw between them.
Really?
I don't have Instagram. My wife does. So she was showing me all the posts back and forth. And do you talk about some crap being thrown out over the weekend? It was great.
That's when social media should be used.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it should ever be used as far as the world of professional wrestling. It's another avenue to further a storyline. It's brilliantly done. You can do it right in the right way, and it can build onto the story. That is a great way. That's a great example. what Ciampa does, holy shit, does he troll people? Oh, some of the things he says and the responses afterwards, commenting on what he said. It is fun to watch. And you know what? A lot of people say, and Bully Ray on Busted Open said this recently. He said that if you're telling a wrestler that he enjoys his work as a heel, you're not doing your job. I don't agree with that. There's some people that will appreciate a heel more than a face. And we have the Attitude Era to blame for that. A lot of people, liking a heel was not a common thing before the Attitude Era. I grew up in the golden age of Hulk Hogan and Hulkamania. To the new generation. From 85 to 97, liking a heel was not a common thing. Then the Attitude Era came, and it changed the landscape of how you perceived wrestlers, and whether if you would like a heel or a face. That's why Austin was an in-betweener. That's why you're seeing it today in 2018 with Becky Lynch, the in-betweener. You can enjoy the work of a heel. I just don't agree with that line. But now that we address that, how did you feel as far as throwing Edge into the mix? Did you find it that he jumped in front of the bus to try to get someone over? Did you figure at any point was this a disrespect to him as a legend? How did you feel about him being thrown in there to try to get some heat for Becky? I mean, legitimate boos. You got oohs when she said her lines, but not boo.
Oh, here we go. First
right.
of all, starting with Edge.
Go ahead.
Kudos to Edge for being the man and coming back like a legend should come back and put the spotlight on the talent.
As
Hats
usual.
off to him. That's class act.
Yep.
Now, with that being said, I would have loved for Edge to feed in to going back to his SmackDown heel character and set Becky up that way. I think that would have been phenomenal.
That would have been
But
better.
I had no problem with the way they set this up.
Okay.
Becky Lynch, though, gosh, she's so good as a heel. And
There's
it's just,
something bad you could say about it.
no, what cracks me up is she could literally tell every person in there to F off, and they're still going to cheer.
Yep.
Simon from What Culture Wrestling on YouTube has started a coin phrase for her, calling her the reverse Roman Reigns. Because no matter how much they try to get you to hate her, you're going to cheer her. Exact opposite of what happens for Roman Reigns. And I love that phrase because it's absolutely true. She's doing the character so well, and it's just making everybody fall more in love with her more than they ever have been.
All right, and shout outs to World Culture. I'm a fan of the work too. TP and then Doug's TV. I do want to acknowledge. Thank you for the follow on Twitch. I happen to see that. All right. Well, before we go any further, is there anything you want to add to that? And if not, we'll go on to the next portion of the show. We still got a few things to cover. One we're probably going to really thrash, but anything else?
I'm good there.
Okay, let's go right into it. Wow. Okay, well, New Day, The Bar, tag team titles, of course, with a big show like SmackDown 1000. Hey, have a good tag team match with the titles on the line. New Day versus The Bar. Here we go again, but great match, back and forth match between the two. Shows the chemistry that they have together. They did put up an entertaining match. Another flaw that I've noticed every other time, someone gets a little winded pretty early on in the match. Towards the end of the match, the Big Show came out. Well, people thought the Big Show was coming in for the New Day's rescue, only to turn on them and chokeslam Kofi through the table. Jeez, who saw that coming? That distracted Big E, only to fall victim to the bro kick from Sheamus for the win. And there you have it, your new SmackDown Tag Team Champions, The Bar. First thing I got to ask you, what did you think of the match?
The match was great.
Okay.
This was probably their second best match between the two teams. First one being their Hell in a Cell match they had was phenomenal. But great match. I enjoyed this all the way through. I did, again, notice Sheamus getting a little winded, but it did seem like he was more in shape this go-around than what he has been. It didn't seem to have a lasting effect like it has in the prior matches. So as for the match, I enjoyed it. I loved it.
I did too, and obviously them being a 5-time tag champions, there's a reason for it. They are a great tag team. The Bar, incredible talent. I'm more of a fan of Cesaro out of the two. If you had to pick a guy that you feel is the better of the two, I have to say it is Cesaro. But yeah, it was a great match. The only thing is like, oh, am I surprised about the heel turn from the Big Show? No, because you know what? I'm gonna ask people in chat right now, and I'm gonna ask you: do you know how many heel to face turns he has had from WCW to now? And I'll give a moment for the people in chat to, get their answers out there, because I'm wondering if they know how many heel turns and face turns he's had going from 1995 to now. And now that we gave it some time, 6. Ready? 25.
I was gonna say 30 something.
25 turns. And talk about like a heel remaining a heel his whole career, a face remaining a face his whole career. That's what classic wrestling is. Here's a guy that is bipolar. Completely bipolar. And the thing I recognize that I fucked up on, I forgot to bring up the video, but it was a 3-minute video, and I think we had enough time when we had clips. Maybe I'll do we could do a video for our YouTube channel, which you can click the link below and subscribe. We'll do a video as far as that, and we can discuss that in long form about the 25 heel turns from the Big Show. But again, it wasn't surprising at all. Now, was this the right team there, you felt? Did they pretty much win the tag titles? So that was the one question I had for you, because you have a lot of talent that you're not even using. Was there anyone that's more worthy enough than the Bar at this point to take the tag titles off them?
No.
No.
Now that the Bludgeon Brothers are gone, that is the team that it has to be. I do think it was too soon.
That's what I was shocked by, that they actually came out.
But no, this is the right team. I'm not going to crucify WWE for this one. I think it was the right team, but way too soon.
But I think also, I don't think it was in the plans for obviously the New Day to come out on top with the titles. I think they were just a transition to eventually, I think the Bar was going to get it. I think it was leaning towards that way anyway, but then they had to go with, because it was pretty much the match after the tournament where they lost their chances. What pay-per-view was that? It was SummerSlam, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I can't remember for sure.
Either that or Extreme Hell in a Cell. One of those pay-per-views, they had their shot, and then, I think it was Hell in a Cell. I want to say Hell in a Cell. But they had their shot, and then, of course, they won it. They only had it for a little over a month.
Mm-hmm.
So, either way, I was shocked that they came out on top of that match. Very surprising, but I was not surprised by the heel turn. Like, Jesus Christ, how many times are you going to do it? Cruz, what's up, buddy? All right, here we go. Let's go into it. We're done with the tag team match, and here we are, the two, quote-unquote, if you want to call it World Cup qualifiers. Here's your chance to actually make it a World Cup. Is it going to happen? We'll find out. First one is a joke of a match. The Miz versus Rusev. It was hardly a match. Of course, Miz wins by a distraction from Aiden English. Further in that storyline, which wasn't much, but it kept it alive. You had to have some sort of appearance by Aiden English. Nonetheless, costing him again any chance of winning the match. Can we even say anything with that?
Do you want to know what my notes say?
Oh, go ahead. I want to hear it.
Boo. That's all I got.
Yeah, I think something went a little too long for that to be so short. That's my opinion on that. All right. Well, Miz goes on. He's in the tournament. And, as of right now, there are 7 U.S.-born World Cup qualifiers. Here's another chance. Now, a lot of people are saying, this is how stupid people are. They didn't realize Rey Mysterio was actually U.S.-born. And it was like, oh, now we got a chance. You got to have a Japanese wrestler and a Mexican. No, the guy is a Mexican descent. He's actually from California, which he's a U.S.-born citizen. Yeah. So here's your chance.
What's the name of his finisher? Isn't it 619?
Yeah, I know.
Look up the area code, people.
Oh,
At
God.
San Diego.
Oh, people are fucking stupid on social media. That's why I kind of try not to get into it too much, because you see things, whether it's political, wrestling, sports, there's a lot of dumb shit on social media. They just don't fact check. They don't look into it. But here we go. Here's a chance. Can that eighth spot be a guy that's not from the U.S.? Shinsuke Nakamura, United States champion, going up against Rey Mysterio. The return after 4 years. The prominent son has come home to the WWE. And here we go. Going into the match, Mysterio took control of the match for a good portion of it, which was shocking. Nakamura had his spots, but it was mostly dominated by Mysterio. And which isn't bad for, a guy coming back. Of course, Nakamura overcame the fast-paced attacks from Mysterio and he got control of the match. And after his second attempt at the Kinshasa, Mysterio countered and threw away Nakamura into the ropes, hitting the 619 and the springboard splash to get the win. Now, we'll get the first question I was going to ask you. I'm going to save that for last. First things first, what do you think of the match? And second, to go along with that, is how did you feel about Mysterio's performance? Let me remind you, 43 years old. And to me, no signs of slowing down, at least in my eyes. How did you feel about the match and his performance?
Let's see here. I'm reading my notes. How was Mysterio's performance? I wrote down, he looks as good, if not better, than ever. He looked phenomenal in this match. I was highly impressed with Mysterio, and I saw some new stuff from him, which kind of surprised me. I saw a little bit of a power game to him, which is weird, but there was a little bit there. The match, in a way, did fall short, though. Mm-hmm. And we're going to get into a little bit of that because there was time restraints that happened that really cut a lot of the meat of this match off. So I'm disappointed with that side of it. There is definitely something between these guys. There was a very high chemistry.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was a couple parts that seemed a little awkward, but overall, yeah, they seemed they had some sort of. I guess it was just a speed issue, or like you said, time restraint, and it might have thrown them off because you seen towards the end there was some sort of issues, not botches, but little issues. But go along with your part. I'm sorry.
So, well, and that's pretty much it. I mean, that's the only issue I had with it is there wasn't enough meat to that match because they just flat ran out of time, and WWE got into scramble mode at the end to get that in. Well, I get it.
Yeah, I get that too, but also maybe they're just, throwing a little hint of a possible feud. Wouldn't that be great for, Rey Mysterio coming in right away and going into a United States angle with him? Because now the reports that Shinsuke Nakamura is definitely going to resign. It's not obviously set in stone, but there's good reports, good vibes. That explains why there was no storyline with Shinsuke Nakamura. He was coming up on the end of his contract, and they were wondering if anything was going to happen, like if he was going to stay. They gave him a title, obviously like a bargaining chip, like, here, stay with us. You are the future. We'll give you a better chance, but here's a title for now. I guess that was their selling pitch to him, to stay instead of going back to New Japan. But if it was a guy that he could do a program with, it would be awesome to be Rey Mysterio. So maybe that was like a tease for what's to come. I don't know how you feel about that. I feel it could be.
I got to thinking about this awful hard when I saw it on the pre-sheet. And I got to looking back on some things, and I made a little checklist. Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
World champ, right?
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio, Cruiserweight champ.
Yes, sir.
Tag team champ.
Yes. On both
Intercontinental champ.
Yes.
What title has he not held in WWE?
Oh, you know what? I didn't pick up on that. That is a great point. So
the only title he has not carried is the U.S. heavyweight title. I think Nakamura was in flux, and they made him a promise that they were about to land this big fish to come back, who wants another run at the U.S. title. And Nakamura is going, yes, I'll resign if I get to work with Rey Mysterio. I faced everybody relevant in New Japan right now. The one guy I haven't done anything with is Mysterio, and I know I can make magic there.
I wonder how they would go with it. It could be something simple to start this whole thing off, and how they could, the events going into the eventual end of the rivalry. I am excited to see that if that was to occur. You make a great point that he never won the U.S. title, and dude, that'd be a great first real angle, being back in the WWE.
If I'm booking this, I'm going to throw on my booker's hat for a second.
Okay, how would you do it?
Here comes the World Cup, or U.S. Cup.
Oh, boy.
Nakamura does a promo about this, that he's upset that it is the U.S. Cup. Mm-hmm. And then here comes the tournament. Rey Mysterio, I forgot. I think the bracket's already out. Who's facing who? I can't remember.
I don't think they announced it yet.
Whoever Rey Mysterio was going against.
Yeah.
Nakamura interrupts the match. Low blow shots Rey Mysterio to spark the feud. And we can build from there. But that's exactly how I would start this thing. And then it gives Rey the opportunity to chase the U.S. title.
Again, that's something simple, but simple works great. It's as simple as things.
It goes with Nakamura's character.
Yeah.
It's what he's been doing.
And it's
MO.
It's simple, right to the... that's perfect. That's a great way to do it. I honestly couldn't book that any different. I think that would be perfect. That would be the perfect opportunity to do it with a big event like Crown Jewel, because even if they go forward with this, this undoubtedly is going to bring attention, and a lot of people will be watching this show just purely for the fact that they went forward with the show. And if this was the way they would go, well, obviously what happened really happened, but I mean, the publicity they're getting, because they might continue with this, people are going to sign on just for the fact that they're going on with this. And having that many eyes on the show, and for what you said, if they were to do that, that would be huge for Rey Mysterio. And not only for that, for Nakamura. And at least that would make his title reign even somewhat relevant at this point, because it's been not beyond stale. Okay, it passed its expiration date. If you look at a bag of chips, it's stale. And then you look at it, it's 2 years old. It's past its expiration. That's how stale, to me, his title reign has been. That's my opinion.
I may have changed my own mind on booking this too.
Oh boy, here we go. All right, let me hear that, and then we'll go on.
Our biggest complaint is this is the U.S. Cup.
Yeah.
And you're taking it overseas. You're not doing it in the U.S. So why not have Nakamura attack Rey Mysterio before the match, render him unable to compete? Nakamura gets into the World Cup just to lose that match, and that sparks a feud, and then you're selling your overseas crowd that now there is somebody from over there in. Kill two birds, one stone, which should have already been taken care of, but we're past that point.
That's smart booking. That is a great one, a great idea. Yeah, but you're giving them too much credit that they might actually do something like that. It's not the World Cup, not the U.S.
WWE.
Exactly.
Tune in to the Go Home Wrestling Show. We'll help you out, I promise.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know if that whole angle with AOP and Corbin, if that happens, because we predicted that well before there was even inklings of that happening. We discussed that, and look, it happened. We're like, holy shit, this is something we discussed, and it may happen.
Hey, props to you and D-Shep. You two guys called that one out. I didn't see it coming, so hats off to you.
Oh, hats off to you if this actually happens. With that, it seems simple, and it seems like it could work. That would be a great angle for them, for both of them. Get into that, and I guess we'll find out if it does happen at Crown Jewel on November 2nd, which you'll also tune into this channel that day, because we will be doing a live reaction show. It would be my first for this channel. We I guess either Magriff or anyone else will join us. You can join us. Make sure you November 2nd at noon Eastern Standard Time, live reaction show. I will be watching the show and reacting with you, the viewers. And maybe we could do a little Q&A with the calls later on in the day too. And twitch.tv/Go Home Wrestling Show if you listen to the podcast later on. Now that we're done with that, we're done with SmackDown. 2 quick questions. How would you rate SmackDown from 1 to 5? And did you think this was a good celebration for the thousandth episode of SmackDown?
Yes, I do think it was a good celebration. I give this a 4. I mean, to me, it was a good show. I enjoyed it from start to finish. There were some screw-ups all the way throughout it. I mean, the timing was way off.
Yeah.
But I'll give it a 4. I enjoyed the show itself, minus the Big Show. What the hell?
Yeah. And you know what? Even though we didn't agree as far as the rating on Raw, I agree with you as far as SmackDown. I as well as give that a 4. And I think they did a good job with the SmackDown. I mean, was there a wrestler? We're not going to talk about a long way. Take a pro. No, we're not talking about that. Get him, Jones. We are not talking about that promo. And I'm surprised you didn't say that. I was not going to talk about that promo on Raw. All right. We're done SmackDown. We have done Raw. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the list.